Imagine this, a young emperor, alone in his tent, writing by candlelight while his armies rest. Commanding the most powerful empire in history, he doesn't write of conquest or glory, but of the daily struggle to master himself. The impediment to action becomes the action. He carefully pens what stands in the way, transforming it into the path forward. Marcus Aurelius didn't know his private journals would survive 2 millennia, inspiring millions. He knew that true success, the kind that endures chaos and challenge, comes from within. He wasn't alone in this wisdom. Today, we'll unlock 6 ancient secrets of success, habits so powerful they've transformed lives across 2 millennia. Before we dive in, consider this. Have you noticed how some people remain unshakable while others crumble under pressure? These individuals grow stronger. What's their secret? The answer lies in Stoicism, not the cold, emotionless version you might have heard, but a practical philosophy that shaped emperors and slaves alike, turning obstacles into opportunities. It's quietly shaped some of history's greatest achievers. Interestingly, when you study highly successful people today, billionaires, athletes, artists, they unconsciously follow these same ancient principles. Most people get it backward. They chase success as if it's something external to be caught. The Stoics knew better. Real success is built from the inside out, through daily habits that transform who you are. Let's start with the first habit: hard work, but not as you might think. Picture a young man in ancient China, daily staring at an immense mountain. Where others saw an immovable obstacle, he saw a challenge. He grabbed a pickaxe and began chipping away. People laughed, saying it was impossible. The old man smiled. I may not finish in my lifetime, but the mountain is getting smaller each day, while my determination grows stronger. I have sons, and they will have sons. The mountain doesn't stand a chance. This became the tale of the foolish old man who moved mountains. Most miss the point. It's not about the mountain, but the transformation. Epictetus, a former slave and great philosopher, said, "Don't tell me what a man's principles are, tell me what he does, and I'll tell you what his principles are." Modern hustle culture gets this wrong. It's not about exhaustion, but showing up daily with purpose, knowing each small action reshapes circumstances and character. Every hard choice, early morning, extra rep, difficult conversation, you're not just working, you're building internal strength that makes success inevitable. Next, patience. A story you've likely never heard, one that changed Arabic literature. Al-Mutanabbi, a great Arab poet, spent years wandering the Syrian desert. He wasn't just seeking inspiration, he was learning patience. Living with Bedouin tribes, he saw how they survived in the harshest environment, realizing the desert demands patience, not as a virtue, but a necessity. Years later, his famous lines captured a profound truth: the desert knows me well, the night, the mounted men, the battle, and the sword, the paper, and the pen. He understood that mastery requires embracing the waiting, learning, and preparation. Rushing exhausts, rushing toward success often takes you further from it. Seneca observed, "No good thing renders its possessor happy unless they are prepared to lose it." Real, unshakable success requires the patience to build strong foundations. Look at any overnight success, years of preparation lie beneath. Patience isn't passive, it's finding joy in becoming. Every skill mastered, relationship built, small win accumulated creates something greater. The Stoics visualize time as a river. You can't make it flow faster, but you can build stronger vessels to navigate it. Ask yourself, is what you're experiencing delaying success, or preparing you for a level you couldn't handle otherwise? The same heat that melts butter hardens steel. Now, something often left out: sacrifice. An ancient Japanese tale tells of a young samurai seeking the secret of success from a Zen master. The master served tea, continuously pouring even after the cup overflowed. The samurai exclaimed, "Master, the cup is overflowing." The master smiled, "You are like this cup, so full of your own opinions, desires, and ambitions. How can you learn unless you first empty your cup?" This is about the fundamental truth of sacrifice: to gain something new, create space by letting go. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Are you willing to look foolish while learning, to give up comfort for potential? Sacrifice isn't giving up things you love, it's loving something else more. It's having a clear vision that makes letting go of lesser things natural. In Mali, Mansa Musa became history's wealthiest person. Before becoming king, his teachers told him, a bird that wants to fly high must first let go of the branch. The branch is comfortable, but clinging prevents soaring. Modern research confirms this. The endowment effect makes us value things simply because they're ours. The Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Get rid of the judgment, I am hurt, get rid of the hurt itself." He spoke of emotional sacrifice, letting go of limiting self-narratives. Success requires clarity on what you're willing to give up: comfort, security, a limiting identity. The Stoics asked, what are you holding on to that's holding you back? This leads to consistency. Sacrifice without consistency is temporary change. An ancient Chinese tale describes bamboo, which seemingly does nothing for 4 years after planting, building an elaborate root system underground. Then, in the 5th year, it shoots up 90 feet in 6 weeks. Did it grow in 6 weeks, or 5 years? Most misunderstand consistency. They see the sudden growth, missing the 4 years of invisible work. Zeno compared philosophy, and any pursuit of excellence, to a fertile field, not a garden of pretty flowers, but a field producing consistent nourishment. Neuroscience confirms this. Repetition strengthens neural pathways, myelination, paving roads in the mind. Musonius Rufus said, habit is strengthened by practice, and more practice makes it stronger still. Excellence isn't an act, but a habit. A Native American tale speaks of 2 wolves fighting within us, fear and self-doubt versus courage and perseverance. The elder says, the one you feed consistently wins. Consistency isn't perfection, but persistence. The Stoics practiced returning to the path, knowing they'd stray. The key was getting back up. Like water flowing around obstacles, never stopping. Epictetus said, don't seek for everything to happen as you wish, but wish that everything happens as it actually will, then your life will flow well. Consistency is about becoming your best self, regardless of circumstances. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your character, becoming reliable, starting with relying on yourself. The Japanese have Kaizen, continuous improvement, and Danari, decluttering. Combine these with Stoic wisdom. Consistency isn't doing more, but doing the right things repeatedly, with full attention. Ask yourself, what one small action, consistently done, would transform your life next year? What sacrifices would enable that consistency? Extraordinary achievement is built on ordinary days consistently invested. Now, discipline. The Stoics understood something profound. Odysseus, tied to the mast to resist the siren's song, didn't rely on willpower alone, he created a system. Proper discipline isn't constant struggle, but creating environments that make success inevitable. Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself. Mastery isn't constant self-conflict, but understanding and working with your nature. Consider Demo, daughter of Pythagoras, who lived in poverty to keep her father's manuscript safe. Not stubbornness, but profound clarity of purpose. Modern psychology calls this choice architecture, setting up your environment for good decisions. Marcus Aurelius slept on the floor to reduce temptation. He wasn't fighting desire, but removing the option. Discipline isn't restriction, it's saying yes to something bigger, having a compelling vision that pulls you forward. The archer Yi focused on perfecting his form, not hitting the target. Perfect the form, and hitting the target becomes natural. Discipline becomes liberation. It's controlling reactions, not just actions. Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. This is mental discipline. Finally, self-confidence. not shallow social media confidence, but self-sufficiency. Zab al-Ghazali, an Egyptian activist imprisoned for her beliefs, recalled the story of Prophet Yusuf, "Even in prison, my Lord has made it good for me." This wasn't blind optimism, but profound self-confidence, understanding that external circumstances don't define your worth. Seneca wrote, "He suffers more than necessary who suffers before it is necessary." Real self-confidence isn't thinking you'll always succeed, but knowing you'll be okay if you fail. Confidence is built on facing failures and realizing they don't destroy you. Each fall and rise builds resilience. Kintsugi, the Japanese art of repairing pottery with gold, making it more beautiful, this is true self-confidence. Failures are the gold that makes you unique. Self-confidence isn't a feeling, but a habit built through small acts of courage, speaking your truth, standing your ground. The Stoics practiced voluntary poverty to build resilience. Knowing you can handle the worst eliminates fear. Bringing all 6 habits together: hard work, patience, sacrifice, consistency, discipline, and self-confidence, they aren't separate, but facets of the same diamond. Hard work builds confidence, patience enables consistency, sacrifice strengthens discipline. They create something greater than the sum of their parts. Marcus Aurelius embodied all 6. Don't try to build them all at once, start with 1, making your bed, quiet reflection, letting go of something holding you back. Success isn't an event, but an emergence. The Stoics weren't trying to be extraordinary, they aimed to live in alignment with nature and truth. You can do the same. The path is clear, the wisdom tested. The question is, will you begin? The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. Choose one habit, start small, stay consistent, and watch ancient wisdom transform your modern life. The Stoics weren't seeking extraordinary lives, they sought alignment with nature and truth. Their lives became unforgettable because of it. Let's look at a modern example perfectly embodying these habits: Cristiano Ronaldo. He wasn't born a star, he was told he was too small for football. His story is about relentless application of these principles. He'd sneak out at night to practice, tying weights to his feet. That's sacrifice. At 11, he left home for an academy, sacrificing comfort and familiarity. His teammates would leave practice, but he'd stay, practicing free kicks relentlessly. A teammate asked why. He responded, "I'll be the best in the world." This wasn't arrogance, but the quiet confidence of someone understanding consistency's power. He spent years transforming his game, systematically rebuilding himself. He changed his running style, revolutionized his free kick technique, transformed his body. Even at the peak of his success, his habits remained unshakable. He'd have lunch with teammates, then play football, do pool exercises, and sprints. This wasn't about proving himself, but consistency. Setbacks only strengthened him. Even now, he defies expectations. These habits aren't just what he does, they're who he is. Success isn't about occasional extraordinary acts, but consistently doing ordinary things extraordinarily. What's your equivalent of Ronaldo's late-night training? What dream are you willing to sacrifice for? What habit will you build, not just for a day, but as a fundamental part of who you are? Greatness isn't reserved for the gifted, it's for those willing to embrace these 6 habits. Hard work, patience, sacrifice, consistency, discipline, and self-confidence, not as concepts, but daily practices. Your journey begins now. Your love makes you strong, your dedication makes you unstoppable. The choice is yours. Will you have the courage to begin? Subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content.